In this 3-minute game review, we're looking at Tinyfolks. So hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. Tinyfolks is a turn-based fantasy RPG where you play a monarch who has fallen from grace and must recruit, train, and lead a band of peasants to reclaim your kingdom from evil forces. The game's art style is reminiscent of 1990s Game Boy pixel graphics. It may not be fantastic, but it definitely stays true to its intended aesthetic. The sound effects were simplistic, but the upbeat 8-bit soundtrack certainly exceeded all expectations and is by far one of the best I have ever heard. At its core, Tinyfolks is a turn-based party RPG with elements of resource management and small amounts of base building. There are 3 difficulties, and the higher the difficulty, the less number of days you are given to defeat the forces of evil. At the start, players are given control of a town where you can choose to upgrade either the local inn, barrack, forge, magicarium, temple, camp, or slum, where you can train a variety of troops, research hero upgrades, craft potions and artifacts, or purchase black market equipment. Once you have a party of heroes together, you can begin to explore the map, fight enemies and bosses to gather more resources like gold, iron, and gems. Fighting battles and getting injured means your tiny folk will have to take time off to rest. So you'll have to be mindful of managing your precious time and resources. The more you upgrade your buildings, the higher your population limit. And the higher your population limit, the more party members you can have in a single fight. Most of the tiny folk that you recruit start out as lowly peasants. But with each building upgrade, you can train them twice, and not necessarily in the same building. In fact, cross-training them can lead to interesting and diverse hero types. When combined with the right upgrades and items, these heroes can possibly become absolutely overpowered. Be careful though, as any death in this game is permanent, and you definitely do not want to lose your strongest heroes before the final battle. The combination of limited time, resources, and threat of permanent death is what makes the core gameplay loop in Tinyfolks incredibly exciting and tense. The story is super basic, but the game's charm lies in the tiny folk and their strangely vanilla modern-day names. If you're looking for a sprawling and epic fantasy RPG saga, then Tinyfolks might not be the game for you. But when it comes to a fun and fast-paced turn-based RPG experience, Tinyfolks certainly delivers. Not to mention, there is also a ton of replay value, especially when it comes to the countless variations of party builds and a post-completion challenge mode, which would already make it worth so much more than its currently affordable price. I would recommend Tinyfolks for players who don't mind a short but infinitely replayable turn-based RPG experience. If you're craving for more turn-based or roguelike games, check out our other videos. Otherwise, like and subscribe for more 3-minute game reviews.